I am Ben Doc Askins, the Psychedelic Science War storyteller, and this is the Anti-Hero's Journey podcast. I got a treat for you, anti-heroes out there. This is Doc Askins here with you, and I'm bringing the trauma daddy himself, the man, the myth, the legend, Saint Andrew D. Fisher, MD, PA, EMTP. He puts
Not
the
anymore.
D in TCCC. He's had 93 peer-reviewed articles published, which is ridiculous because the man is peerless and fearless. He's a ranger. He's a lover and a fighter, a trauma surgeon, and my new best friend, Andrew Fisher. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. There's a couple lies in there, though. I need to correct that shit.
Yeah. Drop some knowledge on me. What was untrue-est?
Untruest? I'm not a trauma surgeon.
Oh.
I'm a surgery resident.
A surgery resident. These are massive differences. Distinctions with differences.
It's, it's the biggest difference between me and success.
How do we define success for someone who walks on water?
I sink like a freaking rock. And I just kind of let it roll. I'll be like, I don't know, I'll just hang out here on the bottom of the ocean. Anyways, no, so I'm a surgery resident, still in training. I am at PGY4 though. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So I have made it thus far without being fired. And
still dodging bullets.
I'm no longer a paramedic, unfortunately.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of one of those things. Wherever I got my text, I used to be a paramedic, but then whenever I moved to New Mexico, I was like, "What's the point of me having a Texas paramedic license if I no longer live in Texas?" So I did drop that, but I still do love pre-hospital care, and I still would like to maintain my paramedic, or at least get it back someday.
Still
Maybe.
A PA, still an MD, still peerless.
It's very kind of you. Thank you. I'm very humbled.
It's my yes. It's very good to have you.
Yes.
So this is one of our Q5 podcasts where I just ask 5 of my favorite questions to ask some of my ketamine-assisted therapy patients in preparation for some medicine sessions.
I appreciate the ketamine, by the way.
Yeah, you've done quite a bit of work in ketamine research that's kind of revolutionized care at point of wounding in the military, among other places.
Yeah. I appreciate your administration of ketamine.
I'm doing my best to try to. What our audience isn't aware of is that I mailed Andrew some ketamine troches before we started the podcast here as a way of just conducting some ketamine assisted therapy loud and out loud.
Well, yeah, I guess we did chat for like 30 minutes before we started just to loosen things up. So we made a few jokes and just had a few laughs and so. Anyways, all right.
You guys missed the best part of the podcast, but we're gonna make up for it here in just a minute for sure.
Hopefully.
So
this is gonna be the worst podcast ever. I apologize to anyone listening right now.
This is what I want you to do. We're not even gonna swing for the fences. You're just gonna bunt, and everybody knows it, and it'll be good. It'll be good after that. I'm giving you the signal. Bunt.
All right.
All right. So question number 1 is the big one. What is your story?
Let me pull up my bio and just read it verbatim. No.
We don't have time.
It's
for your 26-page CV that you sent me ahead of this thing.
I was just trying to provide you with a little bit of background.
Everybody knows who you are, bro.
That's very, very kind. I don't know. It's very convoluted. I'm enlisted in the Army after being a terrible failure at being a human back in the early 90s when I was a young man. and I was an infantryman. Actually, my recruiter thought that I should be a cook, clearly because recruiters have their goals that they have to meet. But I was like,
The
I
combat
thought everyone
spoon
was
should not be
supposed to
disrespected.
I just thought everyone was supposed to be infantry, so I was like, no, I just want to be infantry. So I did that, and but my friend had bet me. I've told the stories to many people that I joined the Army off of a bet, and me and my friend, who we weren't bad people, we just weren't very good people.
I've heard worse reasons for joining the Army, for sure.
And we're just like, hey, man, I bet you won't join the Army and become a Ranger. I was like, oh, I bet you won't join the Army and become a Ranger. Well, I guess
hold my beer.
I guess the only person who did follow through. But it was the best decision I ever made, and so I was an infantryman in the 1st Ranger Battalion, an Alpha Company, and 2 Alpha, and then they were like, hey, we're going to send you an EMT course. And I was like, I have no idea what the hell that is. What the fuck are you talking about? And then they sent me, and I was like, man, medicine's kind of cool. And I decided that at the time, we had talked, as we were talking offline, it was like, Doc Donovan was, the PA for 1st Ranger Battalion at the time, and he's such a one of the most amazing men that I've ever encountered, and certainly has been a huge driving force in, I think, so many Rangers' lives. And he was like, hey, when you guys get out, you should, take that EMT certification that you have and use it while you maybe go to college. And so I got out, and I was like, man, working in pre-hospital medicine is pretty cool.
Been in
I
college
did that
ever since, huh?
Yeah, man. I be EMT, then I was paramedic up at the old Whiz Kids up in Indianapolis at Wishard. And after that, I was like, well, I ran out of college money. Might as well go to PA school now. And then after becoming a PA...
What was that chapter like? I want to hear about IPAP for you. You and I are both IPAP alumni, and we didn't talk about that. I'm curious about what it was like 10 years before I got there.
15 years, I think.
50?
50 years before you got 50, there. That's how old I am.
Are you saying Pan or Pam?
That's that's a good reference. Actually, so that movie came out while I was in PA school. That's how old I am.
Yes, nailed it.
Yeah,
nice. Yeah, what was it like?
It was a lot of fun. I had a great time. Well, at least during phase 1. Phase 1 was, man, what a fantastic time of life to be in San Antonio. It was like 2004, 2005 before I went to phase 2. Great class, great classmates. I don't know. I had a lot of fun. Let's just say that. I had a lot of fun.
Nice.
And I got to know a lot of parts of San Antonio, and
the famous Riverwalk.
No, I was actually trying to stay away from that as much as possible. But man, there's so many great places to go in San Antonio outside the Riverwalk, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
So, yeah, man. So, I just we always go out every weekend, have a great time. We studied and did what we needed to do to get by.
Where'd you go for phase 2?
Hold on. There's nothing against where I went. I think it was the timing of where I went. So, back in 2004, 2005, the DoD was still deploying entire divisions, right? So, shortly after that they did just brigades at a time. So, I was like, I really like Savannah because that's where I used to be, right? When I was in Ranger Battalion. So I was like, well, I'll just go to Fort Stewart and Win Army Hospital. Who knew? Well, everyone knew except me, who didn't do the actual research, that the entire freaking division was deployed. Dude, clinics were shut down.
It's just a ghost town.
It was a ghost town on Fort Stewart for the entire year I was there.
Wow.
Yeah, my I just say my phase 2 training was
Zero
not as much fun.
procedures performed in phase 2.
Right? It's like, excuse me, you're missing some procedures. It wasn't that much fun. I didn't have nearly as great of a learning experience. But that's just the way it goes, you know. I mean, someone had to go there. I mean, what the hell? I was class leader. I could have chosen wherever I wanted to go. I chose Fort Stewart.
Wrote your own ticket to a ghost town.
I mean, that should give you an indication of my ability to make quality decisions.
So what was the next chapter? What was it like being an Army PA?
I'll tell you that being an Army PA, I don't think there's anything like it. I think that probably specifically within, the special operations community, there are some unique opportunities that present themselves that you are able to take advantage of. I wouldn't give up anything I did during the 10 years I was an Army PA.
Yeah.
Even though I chose to go to medical school eventually, yeah.
If you could pick out like the highest highlight of your time as a Ranger PA, what do you think?
The medics that I was able to, I think, oversee and kind of supervise and at times mentor. I think seeing them do some pretty fucking amazing things is probably the highlight.
Yeah.
Seeing what they fucking do is awesome.
Yeah.
They've gone on to do everything. Like, there's so many of them, and just having the opportunity to kind of see them grow. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. So it's if you look throughout my career, I progressed from the battalion PA at 75th Ranger, or 1st Battalion, and I became the regiment PA, or RHQ, and it was the STB PA also. I mean, it's hundreds of, maybe 1,000 medics that I've encountered over the course of the years. Dude,
yeah, I think they called that the force multiplier effect back in Vietnam with the advisors. One trains a bunch to replace them, and just spreads like wildfire from there. Yeah.
It's amazing, like, just to be able to watch what those people can watch, what those guys can do and what they've done and what they continue to do is like, dude, that's pretty badass to just be able to be part of something like that.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
I think, when you're a little bit older, as a PA, as you're ancient as fuck. The ability to kind of, maybe you're not going to touch everyone, you're not going to have an impact touch everyone, you're not going to have an impact on everyone, but just simply being able to be around them and just get to know people and watch what they can do is probably the biggest highlight I think that people can take from being in the military, no matter what your MOS.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, to hear somebody with your, resume and background and the amount of papers and influence that you had on clinical practice guideline development and TCCC and all of those sorts of things, to hear you say that the relationships that you had with the Ranger medics that you got to work with was the highest high point there, I think that speaks volumes about, who you are and what it means to be a servant leader in the military in the first place. I think that's an amazing story.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
What?
But yeah.
What was after that?
Well, I made a very bad decision and decided to go to medical school.
Tell me about. So we had Stewart and we had Korea. All these great decisions, all back to back to back. Yeah. What made you want to just cross the bridge, like create the bridge, and then cross it almost practically from PA to MD there?
Dude, it's weird. I think a lot of PAs out there have maybe even thought about or encountered these sort of situations to where, like, should I become a physician? What else is there? And, what can I do? The options for, the fellowships that you have for a PA in the military, there is surgery, there is emergency medicine. We all know what they are. Well, all the PAs do. But yeah, emergency medicine, ortho, public health, or something like that, education. Like, there's probably 5 or 6 opportunities to go and get a some sort of doctorate, and I was interested in surgery. And when I got down to it, while the PA that track would give you certain training, at the end of the day, you weren't taking people to the operating room. And my desire was I want to identify a patient who needs an operation, take them to the operating room, correct the issue, and then, either eventually, hopefully, discharge them from the hospital better off than they were.
Right.
And again, I think the pathway that PAs have or APPs in general have to be involved in surgery are fantastic. But it was just something that I wanted to do something just a little bit different. And
you like to cut?
Actually, yeah. I just want to cut. It actually is. So it's my wife. It's my wife who I met back in 2011. After we met and we had talked, and we got married, and she was like, "Are you basically shit or get off the pot?" And so that was the driving kind of force behind me going to medical school. So it wasn't for her, I probably would have been retired from the Army at this point.
Okay.
As a PA, which is, again, nothing wrong with that, but I'm very happy that, she was like, dude, shut the fuck up and just go to medical school.
Yeah. Do you feel like she talked you into it, or that she pulled it out of you?
She pulled it out of me.
Okay. But it was in there for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. When I got out of active duty in 1996, I actually had a desire to become a physician, and mostly emergency medicine at that point. Mm-hmm. And, whatever, life happens. It takes you in different directions. And I ended up being a PA for 10 years, which, again, man, that experience is second to none. And I wouldn't give it up for anything, even though I'm a middle-aged man with balding and gray hairs and as a fourth-year surgery resident.
It's the red badges of courage that we get for living as long as we do.
Right?
You hang in there long enough, you're guaranteed to get prostate cancer.
I tell people every day, I only do the things I do because I've been around long enough, and people just give you things to do. It's not because I have any sort of talent whatsoever. It's just like, Jesus Christ, just give him something to do so he'll shut up.
Hey, can you go boil some water for me?
You damn straight I can.
Can you remove these tumors? Why not?
Yeah.
So it was off. It was off to medical school at your wife's behest.
Yeah. And thank God that she was there, and God, I love her to death. And she still is 3,000% supportive of everything we're doing. And with Texas A&M, graduated and matched into general surgery at the University of New Mexico here in Albuquerque. And so here I am, a fourth-year surgery resident.
Yeah, man, that's a hell of a story.
Man, it's I will tell you that there's the different challenges, different perspectives, different levels of difficulty, and people are like, surgery residency is the hardest thing ever. It's hard. Like, learning the amount of information that you need to learn and retain and be able to take care of people appropriately is hard. But combat is also hard. And,
sure.
And doing everything you need to do from that perspective is equally as challenging, but just on a different sort of perspective.
Sure.
So it's yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, just doing anything as hard as you can, as well as you can, is going to wind up being hard, right?
Yeah. So it's for the most part, it's not terrible. It's not bad. Everyone says surgery residency sucks, and we all say it at some point. Or when we're just bullshitting, I was like, yeah, surgery sucks. But it's just because it's like it's 5 years every day of getting up at like 4 a.m. and not going home till 6, 7 at night, and you're just working.
It's just a skull drag.
It's basically like being deployed for 5 years.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine 5 years of deploying. It's like some WW2 stuff.
Yeah, they're like 5 years.
Yeah.
I got
You
nothing.
were in Afghanistan for like, what, 8 years or something like that, right?
Oh God, no! Come on, let's not exaggerate. I was I think
Say the number. What was the number then?
I'm like 32, 33 months deployed.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not that long.
Gotcha.
Fortunately, our deployments were pretty short. Our training cycles were hellish.
Yeah.
You're like, God damn, just please bring the deployment already so I can go over there and relax.
Catch my breath here.
Right.
Welcome home, Kandahar.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, look at salsa night in Kandahar. That's how you know you've entered a non-threatening zone of quote unquote combat.
Right.
It's salsa night.
It's
on the
salsa night.
boardwalk.
Yeah. Volleyball.
Remember that? That was what, 2009, 2010, 11. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Here I am. I'll just do it. Anyway, they had like we had a guy that because back in 2009 the Canadians still owned CAF, and something about Canadians doing soccer or not soccer, god damn it, hockey. Canadians and their hockey, like they had roller hockey. We had a squad leader who broke his freaking ankle playing the roller hockey bullshit. I'm like, dude, you can't go on missions now because you broke your fucking ankle.
Because you played hockey with the
He's an
Canucks.
awesome dude, but I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck? Where are we?
In a war.
Why is my first casualty from roller hockey?
Yeah. Our war stories are weird. They're the weirdest war stories in like the history of warfare, right? Like,
oh yeah,
Hannibal goes over the Alps and some elephants. Big deal. We got hockey.
It's a hockey casualty.
You got to report that up. It's disease and non-battle injury.
How can I craft this into a Purple Heart?
Just tell the story the right way, right? And everybody gets one. It happens.
Oh, man.
It happens, right? Man, what an awesome story. So, go for it.
No, I'm just not awesome at all. It's just long and drawn out.
It's a tale of endurance, right? Shackleton's endurance.
Okay, I'm like a glutton for fucking punishment. I'm just like, what can I sign up for next?
Yeah, you're in the right spot, apparently. Yeah. Well, since you say what's next, that's kind of the second question is I ask people about what their intentions are. Like, what are your plans? The story question's about memory and history and where you're coming from and who you are.
Yeah.
The second question's about like your plans and your dreams and your imagination and the way that you see things going forward.
Sounds like you give me a cognitive assessment.
It's much more than cognitive.
What is elephant spelled backwards? What?
Draw me a clock.
I still love trauma. Still plan. Well, I don't plan. I will apply for a fellowship. Whether I'll match and be able to get into a fellowship is still being determined. But yeah, that's the goal, is to work in trauma, acute care surgery. I'm still in the military. Where I go from there depends. I think I got to wait till the end of wherever I'm going with this before I kind of make the determination about what I want to do with it. So, do I go back on active duty, or do I stay, in the Guard as I am, or do I go reserves? I don't know yet.
Sure. Yeah, that's fair. Beyond the next couple chapters career-wise, looking, down the tunnel of time, like an ideal situation for you after, what comes next in fellowships and all of those sorts of things. Like, where do you want to go in life?
I like academic medicine, and again, trauma acute care surgery, and Texas. So
nice.
I don't know. Does three things go together?
Yeah, check the blocks. There's places to do those things in Texas, right?
Right, a few places from what I hear.
Yeah, allegedly.
Yeah, so we'll see. It's really tough to be in a position. I think either a medical student or a resident, to where you're really dependent on things like the match program, which again continues into fellowship. What happens if I don't match? I don't know. What happens if I do match and I don't match somewhere where I maybe have highly ranked on my list? I'm not sure. And I think overall, though, I'll continue working with probably, yeah, some sort of combat casualty care in some form or another.
Sure.
So that's why I really love that area of medicine. I really like the idea of what we can do in the pre-hospital setting and what can be further developed and push as much advanced trauma care to the point of injury as possible.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Yeah,
that's some life-saving stuff for sure.
Hopefully. So
far it has been. Just keep pushing.
We'll see. Do you have any evidence of that?
I think you've published quite a landslide's worth of evidence so far.
I'm not sure the evidence is very strong, but yeah, I'll go with it.
Case series after case series after case series. Then we do a meta-analysis and we call it evidence. Fantastic.
There we go.
Just give it to the mathematicians. They'll figure out the lies, lies, and the statistics, right? Yeah. So what are you grateful for? That's the third question.
I'm grateful for my wife. The fact that she's pushed me to where I am and continues to support. Grateful for, God damn, dude. I there are so many amazing people out there who've given me opportunities. Frank Butler, John Holcomb, Ted Redman, on the physician side itself, Russ Cotwall,
oh yeah.
It's those are just a couple of physicians that really have always supported me. I mean, God damn, I would actually have to break out a list of people who have kind of, I guess, either done something for me along the lines that just have given me the opportunity. I joke that if you stick around long enough, they'll let you do things. But I think how could I put Ethan Miles? And Ethan Miles is my Ranger buddy, and he's been an amazing person all along the way to be able to just kind of let me do. When I was up at Regiment, like, Ethan would just let me do shit, and we developed the Rolo program.
Yeah,
and I was like, dude, I think we got this sort of thing. And he was like, yeah, I think we got this sort of thing, and he just like let me run with shit. And that was pretty amazing to have people who allow you to kind of do things.
Yeah.
I think I'm grateful, honestly, for the 75th Ranger Regiment and kind of the overall way they approach medicine.
Yeah.
Which is, okay, we trust you. What do you need? And you run with it.
Yeah.
Without the leadership, really trusting in the whole medical side of things, I certainly wouldn't have the opportunities I have now. So
that's another example of that force multiplier effect, right? Because the Rolo program and the way that y'all ran medicine out of the Ranger Regiment just dripped out across all of DOD.
Yeah, it's certainly continues to be a significant influence in how the entire DoD practices medicine in the pre-hospital setting, and it's
which
really
only trickles out to civilian EMS after that, right? Like, it's a hell of a legacy.
Yeah. It just makes me laugh sometimes. Is that people, these infantry guys who are much smarter than I am, and they're just like, yeah, okay, Doc, you got it. Okay. And they just like, there's nothing to it. It's like, yeah, you got it. And they really trust us to just do the right thing. And thank God that we're some, I guess, they probably figured out on a psych profile if we were not.
Yeah, you wouldn't have lied. Yeah, definitely wouldn't have lied on that, right?
Never, ever. But yeah, you try to do the right thing, but they're like, yeah, go for it. And man, they give you all the support in the fucking world.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you want to go to Norway for what? Okay.
For blood transfusion work. What are you, a vampire? All right, send the guy on the vampire orders. Send him.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's.
I don't know, man. It's so tough to kind of see what you. I think to kind of really nail down what you're grateful for. I guess here's the thing. I think if you're, I'm not trying to offend anyone, but if you're below 30, probably it's pretty easy to kind of narrow that down. I'm 50 years old, and my God, I've half a fucking century. I mean, there's so many things I've had throughout my life, good and bad. I can't even fucking remotely come close to trying to nail down like what I'm really, really grateful for. I will 100% always say, thank God for my wife. And having wonderful parents too. So I think it all goes down to kind of that personal, close knit, familial sort of things that at the end of the day, I think most of us probably can appreciate that have made us probably successful.
Yeah. So it's the team, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So the fourth question is, what are you creating?
Havoc and distrust.
Chaos and agony.
I don't fucking know. I don't know.
Well,
I'm not creating anything, man.
Yeah, talk to me about the Church of Evidence-Based Medicine. You are the patron saint of the Church of Evidence-Based Medicine on
I am not anything like
the Facebooks, right? Nah, you're the trauma daddy. You got
bullshit.
Like stickers and patches and
like dude, who doesn't have
you interact with medics all over the world through that like Facebook page, right?
Who doesn't have stickers and patches at this point? I'm surprised that I don't have a t-shirt company because I'm a veteran and that's what we do. Piss off so many people.
It's my podcast, but it's your episode. I just want to put that out there for all of the veteran t-shirt companies. If it wasn't for you guys, I'd be naked right now. I have so many of them. It's my whole wardrobe. My wife hates them all, and I love them all. She won't go out in public with me without a shirt on, but she hates all of the crazy t-shirts that I've bought down throughout the years.
Oh, shit. No, so that, that whole shit started out as just a joke, and it still is somewhat of a joke. It's not to be taken too seriously. Really, and the real content creators and brains behind everything, it's not me. It's John and Nick, man. They are the talent, and it just happens to have my face on it. So I don't really have any. I don't think I have much influence over it. I'm happy to be part of it, but it's like at some point it seems like it's just like, I don't know. It's not to be taken too seriously, and I think that's the problem is people think it's like, oh, something like, oh shit, here it is. It's like a joke, but we need to take it seriously. It's like, do what you want with it, man. If you like it, that's cool. If you don't, that's cool. I don't care.
Yeah, that's the best part about it, right?
Time. I guess, man. Like,
it's fun.
I just, it's supposed to be fun.
And you're learning a ton at the same time, too, right? It's like a psyop, a little bit.
I think a lot of times people will take shit on the internet. Actually, every day I think people take shit on the internet way too fucking seriously. It's like, just
what
cares,
the fuck
man?
Is the internet?
If you don't fucking like it, then just fucking scroll by, man. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Like, and I think what we do is pretty cool. We produce a pretty awesome literature reviews.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of current issues.
I've learned a ton being a disciple.
Yeah. If you like it, again, fantastic. If you don't, okay. All right. Cool, bro.
Unlike it.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be happy to debate you, or you know, if we don't agree on something, we can debate it. But goddamn, like people get so fired up about the dumbest shit, and sometimes I just want to kind of almost let things go and be like, okay, I'm done. But you know, like I said, John and Nick are super talented, smart guys who put together some great content, and I just have it in my face on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm glad they're doing that. I'm glad you let them stick your ugly mug out there like that too. You know,
right? Listeners, I apologize as we digress.
Yeah. So, last question. Question 5. Who are you really?
An introvert who is trying not to fail at everything he does. Yeah. Next question.
That's it. We survived. We made it through the podcast. Q5 is done. Yeah. Check.
No one can answer that. I'm certain people can probably answer that question. I can't answer that question appropriately.
Yeah.
I don't have the confidence, I think, to do it in a manner that would probably represent myself.
Okay. No, that's a fair answer. I appreciate that authenticity.
Cue sad piano music.
Take my breath away.
You know, people who are able to answer that shit, good on you, man. Like, I love when people can kind of like just explain themselves, but I can't do it. As we talked about, like, I'm such an introvert. I have a hard time talking about myself, although I'm awkward that we've talked about me the entire time. But
I've enjoyed it. I bet this gets the most downloads of the whole season. You wait.
No,
you wait and see.
It'll be like 4 thumbs down.
They're going to be like, bring Andrew back. Replace Ben with Andrew.
Like, did you give him ketamine beforehand?
I already told everybody about that. You know, that was supposed to be just our little secret. So you got any final thoughts? Anything else you want to drop on us?
I mean, I have all sorts of thoughts. Whether they're relevant or actually worthwhile, shit, who the fuck knows? I think combat casualty care is an underrated area for study of medicine. I think combat medics can do an amazing job. I do think the idea that a combat medic will hold someone for more than a few hours in a situation is ridiculous. However, they can become experts at saving lives that actually, for those who can be saved in that short timeline. And I don't think we train them well. I think the idea that we initially train them to do certain things is important. However, I think our sustainment training for those for the same medics needs great improvement. I think the idea that if we ever enter into a kind of a large scale combat operation similar to Korea or World War II, we need to get used to a lot of people dying and being dead, and the idea that people can't die on the battlefield needs to be replaced with the concept of actual triage, and people will die, and we just need to accept that. And I think there are many ways we can identify people, those who can be saved and those who cannot. And I don't think we're capitalizing on the opportunity to train people to recognize those differences and save those people who can be saved versus, unfortunately, because that's the nature of war, that people will die. I don't want to end on a sad note, so I'm not going to leave it there. Because that's a terrible way to end an episode. God damn.
That's still a huge like philosophy and strategy shift though, right? From the global war on terrorism and asymmetrical warfare to the large scale combat operations. Like exactly what you're saying is exactly what needs to be said and needs to be understood at every level of command. if we're going to go into that sort of situation, we need to do it with our eyes wide open. So I appreciate you, dropping that level of knowledge on folks, regardless of whether it's a Debbie Downer or it's something, that people can handle. I think, speaking the truth is what's important.
Yeah. No, we should leave it on a high note.
All right. What do you want to sing?
No, bro. I don't know, man. I really appreciate. I love coming on a podcast. As we talked before, like if I don't have the questions beforehand, I sound like a larger, more impressive dumbass than usual. It's fucking tough to come on these things and talk about yourself. But it's amazing that you guys come out here and do this and give us the opportunity to kind of just fucking talk about anything. I mean, we were talking about, like shit like being on the back in the day when the television programs with the paramedics and life and trauma in the ER.
Yeah.
We're talking about stories about that, and it's just like that's funny shit. I don't know. So
many war stories.
I'm gonna tell you. So I could end it on that funny story of trauma life in the ER when I was a Wishard paramedic. Came to Wishard to film, and they had already followed my roommate at the time, a guy named Shane Hardwick, who's still working in Indianapolis, does a fantastic job, and because they followed him on paramedics. I don't know why. Like this dude is love you, Shane, but you're like 5 foot nothing and a redhead, and I'm like clearly a very attractive 6'4" dude.
Ranger.
I'm fucking joking. I'm ugly as fuck. So anyway, so they follow my roommate around, and it was pretty awesome. But then they come in for trauma life in the ER, and they're filming everywhere. It's honestly kind of fucking obnoxious. It's like everywhere I turn, there's a fucking camera. I'm like, Jesus Christ, people. And I knew that because they were the same producers, same cameraman, like everything's pretty similar. I'm like, dude, didn't I just fucking see you? Anyways, I'm like, I can't, I'm a paramedic, and like, I'm a medic 14. Got a guy with a gunshot wound. This dude shot like 7 times. And I'm like, I'm trying to do my thing, and I'm like, these motherfuckers are going to be filming as soon as I pull into the ambulance bay. I know they are. I'm like, the last thing I want when I'm actually trying to take care of a patient is some fucking light and camera in my face. And so I pull in, and as soon as I open the door, there's a fucking camera. I'm like, motherfucker. And I say it as loud as I can because I'm thinking, well, they just won't film me if I cuss. And
can't put that on national TV.
No, you can't put that on what is it, whatever.
Prime time.
Or the Discovery Channel or whatever it was back in the 2000s.
Discovery TV MA language.
God damn it. Wouldn't you know that it actually showed up on the program that me popping out of an ambulance with a guy shot 7 times as I take him to the trauma bay. And I was so fucking pissed off. I was like, come on, man. But lo and behold, they will film anything and put it on TV.
Yeah, everybody's doing it now.
I don't know. Looking back now, man, I don't mind. But I was so young and angry back in the day that I was just like so pissed off that they would show up and like, I got a guy shot, and you're like, fucking camera's right there, like bright light. I'm like,
it's like an insult.
Maybe you should ask the patient if they want to be filmed first.
Yeah, as it's adding that insult to all those injuries, right?
Yeah, the injury to my soul.
Yeah. Hearing your whole story makes me think of Braveheart when William Wallace does his whole like rousing blue face speech or whatever, and then like comes back over and there's the mad Irishman or whatever, and he's like, fine speech, now what? And he says, just be yourselves. Just be yourself, bro. Just be yourself.
Yeah. That's probably true. Like, it doesn't matter who the fuck you piss off, or actually it probably does a little bit, but I'm probably proof of that. I don't know, man. Like, go out and do what you want. Like, do what you want, do it, and do what you think you need to do to be happy. It doesn't matter how fucking old you are, what your experience is, what where you are in life. if you want to do something, go out and fucking do it. I don't give a fuck who the fuck you are. Just fucking do something, right? Don't sit there on the fucking, in this fucking high mighty fucking chair and fucking bitch and whine and moan. Either fucking do something or get the fuck out of the way. And I guess that's my philosophy with life, and I try to do what I can to make things better for combat casualties.
Yeah.
And that's really kind of, I think, where my passion, obviously, where's my passion lies. So, but yeah, that's how I go about things.
Just be who you are, Trauma Daddy.
I've only been fired a few times.
and only earned it every single time.
All right.
Well, it's been a pleasure, my friend.
Yeah, it's been awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.